In today's Art of Science, we are going to talk about the most exact science there is, math. And I know what you're thinking. Miss Shannon, numbers, not good combo. Actually, we're going to talk about shapes. So shapes are part of a branch of math called geometry. So what I'm going to show you is how you can take a line, or more accurately, a line segment, because a line will just keep going and going and going. So we're just going to take a part of that line. And I'm going to show you how we can take lines, straight lines, and make a circle. Crazy, right? Okay, so here's what you're going to need. In your kit, if you got a kit, if you're doing this at home without kit stuff, you're going to need a piece of wood. So I've included this wood frame, it's a wood craft frame, but Michael sells wood plaques for pretty cheap anyway. Just need a piece of wood. You're going to need some nails, little finishing nails. You're going to want some string. If you have littler hands and you're of the younger get, you're going to want a thicker, like a yarn. Or if you're an older person and you are making the more advanced string art, you're going to want thinner string. So this is actually embroidery floss, but thinner string would work too. Okay, so also in your kit, I have provided for you templates. Okay, you don't need a template in order to figure out how many nails will go into this, but then there's actual math and numbers involved. So what you would have to do is you'd have to make a square, draw a square, but it would have to be an exact square, so it would have to be, each side would have to be the same length away from the outside edge, and each one would have to be the exact same length, each side. It gets very technical. And then you'd have to divide it up so that there would be an odd number of nails. When I did this, I actually did an even number of nails, and it doesn't work as well. So if you're going to do that, basically what you have to do is once you have your square, you need to divide it into 3 parts, and then divide each of those 3 parts into 3 parts. It gets very complicated, especially if you're doing the circle. So I've provided templates because it's stressful. So before you begin, you're going to want to choose which one you want, if you want the circle or if you want the square. I'm going to tell you that the circle is harder. So if you're below a certain age, you may not want to do this one first. The square is where you should go. Okay? So you actually can just lie this on top of your template, on top of your wood frame. I will also tell you that the white part is not the part you're paying attention to. These are not cut very well. I did it very quickly. It's the dots that you want to pay attention to. So those are the ones you're going to want to line up onto there. And then you're going to want to take a nail and a hammer, and you're going to hammer the nails into the red dots. So it is my recommendation that your first one be at the top of the frame, and then your second nail be at the bottom of the frame, right there and right there. That way your template won't move as much. And then you can just go around and do the rest of them. Okay? Same thing for the circle. When you do it, make sure to put a nail at the top and a nail at the bottom so that it doesn't move around. Okay, when you're done, you'll have nails, or you'll have nails. And that's when the fun begins. So it's actually a very easy setup once you have all the nails in. You're going to tie your piece of yarn around one of the nails. Okay, so just a quick loop around that one. And then if you are of the younger get, if you're a beginner, there's a sheet that has basic shapes on them, and you can use this to practice making those shapes. So like here's a triangle. Oops. And there's a second triangle. Or you could do more complicated ones. You could do a star. So my star is not perfectly even, mostly because I did tell you that these are even number of nails. If I had an odd number of nails, like you will because you'll use the fancy template, this would be more in the middle. You can't really have something in the middle when you have an even number. If you are looking to do something a little bit more advanced, there is this fun thing that you can do, and it's called a parabolic curve. There are instructions for that right here. Okay, and this is sort of the start of how you make a circle with a straight line. It starts with making a curve. So we're going to go here, and then back again. Alright, now, as you can see, all these straight lines I've made have made this curve. It's very fancy, I know. Although don't feel like you're limited to the designs and things that are on here. If you want to, you can just go at it and make a really fun design. I don't know, what's a fun design that you can make? I don't even know because you guys are going to make it. If you'd like to do the more advanced version with the radial template or the circle, the instructions for that are on the opposite side of the shape sheet. They're down here at the bottom. So the example has the same amount of nail markers as your template does. So basically what you are going to do, depending on whether or not you want to use the triangle or the hexagon. The hexagon is harder, there's more sides. So I would definitely start with the triangle. But what you want to do is you can actually just count from the starting point and count the amount of nails that you need to go to until where you're going to wrap the string. And I would actually count that same thing on your template and then make a marker. Just like a little line or a little dot or something with a pencil or a crayon, just so that you know. And then do the same thing with the next set. And then maybe a different color for where you're going to begin for the next resolution. So I'm going to show you. So again, we're going to be using the thinner string for radial things. All right, and then I have already pre-counted and marked. So we're going to make our first line segment. And then we'll make the next one. And then this is where it gets tricky. So if I went back to my beginning, I would just have a triangle. It does look cool. I will give you that. And there's lots of cool designs and shapes you can make. But since I do want to continue with making a circle, I'm going to go one beyond where I started, and then go one beyond, and one beyond. And we'll just keep doing that, going one beyond the previous one. And when you are done, this is what it will look like. So you'll notice that there is a circle in the middle of all of my straight lines. If you were to do the hexagonal pattern, the one with the hexagon, this would actually be much thinner. It'll be closer just because there are more sides, so it's taking up less space. A fun challenge for you to do is if you have a different color string on your own, you could do first this pattern and then the next pattern on top of it to see the differences. It would actually be really pretty. But again, you don't have to do just this. You can then untangle all of this and then make your own awesome pattern. It's not magic, it's just math. Bye.